Hey guys! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, but kind of, sad at the same time that we are doing the last day of a week-long series here on social. Thank you so much for tuning in, Facebook family. Thank you so much for tuning in, Instagram family. You guys have just, kept this week so exciting and entertaining, and, your engagement has just been tremendous. I really, really thank you for always being on time. And I'm sad because I've had such a great time with all of you guys and all of my incredible guests who I have handpicked specifically for each of the different types of communications during this lockdown period that I wanted to talk about. Today's guests are one of my favorite families, and they comprise of actor, singer, sword fighter, Karen David, music producer and chef extraordinaire, Carl Ryden, and their four-legged son, Mylo, who you'll see popping in and out every now and again. Oh my gosh, you just got to stop that right now. He is absolutely adorable. Welcome, guys. I'm so excited that you're here on my last show for what I know is going to be a really fun-filled hour together, because knowing both of you personally and meeting Mylo, of course, for the first time, I don't even know what to expect.
I've got a mirror here. Should we just try and hold on? See, just bear with us.
There we go. There we go.
That's better. And then, sorry. Okay, mine.
All right.
Okay.
There you go. First of all, I just want to thank Carl for coming on and having to wake up so early and put his makeup on. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I really appreciate it. And at least I get to see you after so long virtually. I'll take it. I'll take it. We will be talking about how to navigate our new normal, being on lockdown at home, and how this is amplifying so much family time. We've never experienced anything quite like this in our lifetimes. These are definitely unprecedented times. Some people are loving it, and others are having a real hard time with it because they are used to spending a large part of their day, outside as well. And Carl and Karen are definitely, a testament to this. Both of them are in careers that have them, spending copious amounts of hours on projects outside. Karen, of course, travels around the world a lot in terms of a lot of the projects that she works on for her TV and film projects. I want to actually also add another layer into this, guys, because, to further complicate things, there's also our furry family members who are, some people are coming back to me and saying that they're having a bit of a difficult time because they've got too much family time and not enough me time. I don't know if that's the case with you guys, because as we know, they are creatures of habit, oftentimes a lot more than humans, because what they do is, we train them, and we train them to live in a specific manner. And now with this kind of COVID lockdown, they are having us, every single moment of the day. And then once we get out of this situation and we go back to, some sort of normalcy, albeit that's questionable, because after this experience, we know that our normal is going to have shifted. And that's a discussion that I would definitely want to have with you guys. So again, we'll have to train them again to get used to not being with us. So with all that said, with all that said, and I know that most of the people here are all Karen's fans, so they already know who she is, but for want of people who are in from my side, Karen, tell everyone just a little bit about yourself. And, if we can just wrap it up in a couple of sentences, that would be wonderful, because...
Yeah, good luck.
What's that supposed to mean? Well, why don't you tell everyone who I am?
Oh, I like that.
I'll tell everyone who you are, and you can tell them who I am.
Yeah,
oh my God, I love that. Let's do it.
Good.
Okay, my wife, Karen, she's an actress and a singer and a writer now. She does TV and film, and she's been working constantly, and I'm really proud of her. And there you go. That was 3 or 4 sentences. I think.
Oh, you were wonderful.
Carl. Yeah, it's good. So you always get the short version from me and the long version from Karen. So,
oh,
yeah.
So Karen, let's see if you can handle Carl's fabulous career and life and personality in 2 or 3 sentences.
So you didn't mention my you didn't say my personality.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you should say that I'm like the best thing since sliced bread in your life.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay. So Carl, ladies and gentlemen, this is my husband, Carl Ryden. I got your name.
Can we not have conversations about what happened last night, please, Karen?
This is what happens when you have Mylo waking me up like 5 times in the middle of the night. This is my husband called Ryden with an N.
It's only been 11 years.
Carl is a Grammy nominated, I'm very proud of that, music producer and songwriter. And he is one of the kindest human beings I have ever met. Is a very funny and keeps me on my toes, and makes me a better human.
I'm not that kind.
Yes, you are.
No,
now
I'm
see
not
the
that
difference
kind.
how I introduce you?
Yeah.
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 Actually, since I know both of these guys, pretty intimately in terms of our fabulous friendship that we've shared over a number of years. Karen, I've known since 2008 when she graced the cover of the 5th anniversary of ANOKHI magazine. Do you remember that, Karen?
I do. I was so much
gosh.
younger then.
Yeah, but you look the same, darling.
I love you.
I don't know what drug you're taking, but let's definitely keep taking that drug. Is that drug called Mylo?
It's called Mylo. It's called having a good husband who cooks very well. It's called having a mom and dad who genetically just look really great.
Absolutely, I agree.
They do.
And then Carl, I've known for about a decade. We met quite some time. It's been a decade. It's been a decade.
Happy
and
decade.
we've spent some great moments together. And oh my God, here she goes laughing. And I have to actually share with you, Karen. I had Shalini Videra on yesterday, who obviously is one of our besties. And she was saying, I have such fond memories of Vegas, but that's a whole other conversation for a whole other rating.
This is a family show, right?
It is.
So wait, I should.
Nothing happened though. Come on, Karen.
No, it was funny.
Karen,
it was just my mother's reaction. My mother was on my hen do in Vegas. So that's all you guys need to know, because I laughed because her reaction was just extraordinary. It was so fun.
And the fact that I was there, guys, I will share one little, bit of information for you without going into too much details. But the one that was behaving herself was Karen, not her mother.
I know.
I have to say.
My mom's watching this now, so I can hear her laughing.
Hey, Mama David, how are you?
She's watching from Toronto.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
So that's wonderful. So, let's also, share with people, how did you guys meet? I mean, two very different careers, 2 very different types of individuals, 2 people whose, potentially you think your paths would never cross. Talk to me a little bit about kind of, that serendipitous moment where you got your paths crossed and at what point in knowing each other did you know that you were the one?
Yeah. Okay. So we met in London 11 years ago.
No, a little bit, 11 and a half.
11 and a half, I suppose. Yeah. And I think because Karen was a recording artist at the time, and I was taking sessions and doing work with artists, and we met that way.
My then music manager was Carl's music lawyer, and I had heard about Carl for 3 years. I had to wait 3 years to get 2 days in the studio with him. That's how demand he was. It is so true.
No.
And I kept hearing about Carl.
Changed, Karen. Karen, has anything changed? Come on, getting in the studio with this guy. You need
it's like, now we're in the middle of a build where we're going to have a studio, Carl's studio at home. So
oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I'm really excited because, guys, this is where I'm putting it out there. So now you can hold me accountable. But when the studio is ready, we're going to finish my EP.
Oh,
So I've been back in the studio, and
I have been waiting for that, Karen. So have all your fans who have been following you for the last 15 years. Because that's how you and I met. We met because of your, your music career and the many people that kind of were common denominators in our lives. Me being from media, and you, of course, being from, the music industry.
Yeah. So it's when I met Carl, I remember my manager had sent me, the address and all that, and also a JPEG photo. I was like, why do I need to know what he looks like? I'll just knock on the door and I'll know that's Carl. But anyway, he sends me a picture. And so I click open the attachment, and up pops this yummy photo of Carl, with his smoldering eyes and his baseball cap.
Wind machines.
He's like super hot. Yeah. And I was like, oh, wow, he's a cutie. I thought, okay, well, good to know. And of course, I had the biggest ginormous zit on my chin. And I thought, of course, the day I'm going to meet this hottie, I'm going to have this big zit on my chin.
I think zit was what he fell in love with, darling.
That's right.
No, well, this is me talking like this. Hi, Mom. No, on the side, because I didn't want him to see it was huge. So I'll never forget the day. It was a sunny morning in London. And I knocked on the door, and this lovely Swede, and the wind blowing through his hair and everything. It was like the cheesiest moment that my sister told me, that when you meet the one, you just know. Like the violins were playing, the birds were chirping, and this gust of wind went through his hair.
Basically,
yeah. What? And nothing wrong with those. I love those. And so anyway, so I saw Carl, and I was like, oh damn, this is I was like, he's really lovely. And then got to know him throughout the session, and thank God we had great writing chemistry. Can you imagine if we didn't?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it was so great that you were super talented and really good at what you do, and all that, and so lovely.
So how did you feel? How did you feel when you opened the door?
Oh my God, no.
Sexy woman here, this exotic, fun, vivacious, funny woman here.
Oh yeah, no, stunning woman. But what struck me the most was that we had 2 days booked, and I was working from home.
Hey Rosie. Hey, I'm just going to stop you a second, Carol.
Yeah.
This is Steph from London. Just wanted to say hi to you. Remember that day we spent together in London when I was with you for one of the covers?
Yes.
You came in to say hello.
Oh, I love.
Now let's go back to the Hallmark story, aka the version by Carl Ryden.
Ryden, yeah. So anyways, we had 2 days booked, and on the second day, Karen brought some ingredients to make curry, Indian food, and that was before I started cooking Indian food. And I thought to myself, like, I don't know if she does this with every producer she meets, because this doesn't. I'll go with it because I get to spend some time with her.
I was trying to find ways, because I knew that Carl loved cooking from the first day we met. So I thought, oh, what can I do? And he was always fascinated with India, having just been to India.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
So I said, well, why don't I bring a bunch of the spices and everything, and we can make a curry together.
It was awful. The curry was absolutely. It didn't come out good. I mean, I cooked it for the first time at the time. But I think that was the first. That's when it struck me that, hang on a minute, she might actually like me.
It wasn't the minute that you opened the door, like it was for me.
Yes, it was. Of course, it was. It was wind machines from both directions.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah. But didn't you tell your mom? Because I told my mom. My mom always asks. I speak with Mom every day, and she said, "How was your session?" And I said, "Mom, I met the loveliest human being who happens to be smoking hot and super talented. And I think he's really special." Mom's like, oh.
Yeah.
And so, and you told your mom something similar, that I was smoking hot.
No, you can't, you know when it's right. So I did say that.
You did.
Yeah, I did.
And it's interesting that you both have a very similar story, because there's no way of explaining, the dynamic there. You just know, right? It's just, and similar to, when you guys decided that you needed to have a baby in your life, you just knew. Mylo. So I want to talk. I want to bring him into the conversation a little bit because and then the reason I want to do that is, you know, when we talk about our, you know, furry family members, we always talk about it in the context of how we feel, you know, about them and how they, you know, how they came into our lives. Sorry, but I am a true believer that pets pick you. I really do believe that. So I want to know your guys' story in terms of, you know, how did you decide that Mylo was the one for you?
So,
oh my God,
have
adorable.
I know he's like a teddy bear right now. We're like,
he needs a haircut.
He needs a haircut too, but you know, it's kind of challenging right now.
Come bring Max. Let him say hello to Mylo.
Everyone's saying
our two
hi,
boys
Mylo.
haven't said hello yet.
I know you want to say hello.
Hey, baby boy. Hey, Mylo. Hi. Hi, darling.
They can't see on Instagram Live, so you've got to bring
I'm trying to figure out who he looks like more. Yeah.
Well, clearly the good looks for me.
Oh,
I mean,
hey, baby.
Look at that.
Hey, baby, say hello. Hey, baby, say hello. Say hello. This is my son, guys. He's been working behind the scenes, as you guys can see. And this is my other son, my four-legged furry son. His name is Maximus. He's already met Karen. They've already cuddled and kissed and rolled around together.
Cute love bug.
And so please tell us. You see what he's doing? This is what he does all day long.
And you know what? And pets are so, especially
Instagram can't see him.
You know, especially this time of, you know, everything that we're going through right now. They provide such good therapy.
Stress absorbers.
It's like, I mean, this is our teddy bears here essentially. So I have allergies. I'm allergic to cats, which broke my heart because I love cats. And I'm allergic to dogs too, but I have to get a hyperallergenic dog. Carl's never had a dog to call your own. You've had it in the family, but never one to call your own. So he really wanted a puppy. And I needed to get a hyperallergenic dog. We tried to get on all the lists of rescues because, as you know, there's a lot of doggies that need homes. And to find a hyperallergenic puppy is challenging to begin with. Carl wanted that experience.
You're being asked what kind of, you know, what breed he is.
Cockapoo.
Yeah, he's a cockapoo. So Mylo is a cockapoo. And so we were on this list.
He looks like you gave birth to him, actually. He looks 50% like both of you.
I know,
he really
does. A bit, especially like his father.
Okay. So anyway, so to make a long story short, we were on a list for 2 years. And we had come close a couple of times with some different hyperallergenic dogs, puppies. And of course, there's such a huge waiting list because many people want to rescue, which is great. Yes. And many people who have allergies like me in the same boat to get a puppy, they get snapped up like this. So we were in the pecking order. We're still on that list. So
it's no different from adopting babies, like human babies, really, is it? It's like a quite similar process.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I was very, very torn because I know other people who are in our situation, especially where I have my allergies, it's very tough to just take any rescue in. Because,
and with a heart as big as yours, and I know that for sure.
Yeah, I was really conflicted.
Yeah,
because I felt guilty because I was just like, well, if I'm going to go to a good breeder, I have to. That's one thing, but then I did feel guilty because I know how many pets and need rescuing. So Mylo came up through an agent. We got an agent. They have agents who are very of this one agency that are so excellent because I wanted to make sure that we got the best of the best breeder.
Right, of course.
And so he came from a farm just outside of Kansas, right?
He did, yeah.
In Missouri. And literally it happened so quickly when he was born, his litter. And it's true, it's like everything happens for a reason. The reason why I went through an agent was because I had a very painful experience with my last dog, Bugsy, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
And where again, the breeder hadn't disclosed all his genetic lineage and I lost him very young, and it just
killed you.
It did, and I couldn't have a dog for a long time because it was just too painful, and I didn't want to go through that again. I had to make sure that I had some way of knowing, some extra sense of security that I was getting a dog from the best of the best breeders. So that's why I went through an agent, and they have such strict vetting practices. So I got a bunch of photos from the breeder. And when we saw Mylo, we just kind of knew, although it's a big decision, Carl being a typical Cancerian, like a crab, likes to dance from side to side to make a decision. And I'm like the cool Aries that says, yeah, let's do it. So what? It's the truth. So we always say
so you're
to
the
Mylo,
perfect balance, guys.
You're
the perfect balance.
Right, yeah.
He hones you in and she pushes you out. Right.
Yeah, but we're starting to cross-pollinate now, so I don't know if we like.
Well, I'm more Cancerian and you're more Aries sometimes.
Yes,
it's like,
right.
wait, what?
Yeah.
And I was dropping off Carl to the airport because you were on a writing trip.
Yeah, I was going to go somewhere.
And so you were on your way to Sweden, actually, and then London. So we were on the way, and I said, you know what, let me just call them up and just have a chat a bit more, because we had already passed the screening vetting interviews. Which is really good. They don't just give, the dog to anyone. They vet you, your house, everything, your lifestyle. They ask you a gazillion questions. So we passed that. And then finally they said, well, it's really up to you. But they said, just know that his other brother and his sister have already been adopted. So there's only one more boy and Mylo. So I was like, oh my gosh, we gotta make him. No, they hadn't named Mylo. Mylo's name was Alec.
It was Alex.
His
like
ID. His ID was
because there's a ton of people asking, who named him and where the name came from. So let's get to that after.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's a good question. So, so we saw Alex, and Carl and I just fell in love. But it's a big decision, and this is something I want to say to everyone here. When you decide that you want to have a dog or a cat, you have to make sure that you are ready,
right,
financially, to take the financial responsibility, that you're ready to take care of your cat or dog. It's a huge decision to make.
A lot of families buy dogs and puppies for their kids for Christmas and stuff like that, but when they realize that it's actually a big responsibility, they return them, and that's how they become rescues. And so it's
and the thing is, Carl, what you're saying is a really important point, because people buy animals like they'd buy a coat. You know what I mean? Like they buy them as presents. You can't buy them as presents. You have to invite them into your home as a family member. And if that mindset shift in your head is right, then you'll understand that this is a family member, right? And I know it sounds like a cliche, but there's so many horrifying stats out there, which is why you're bringing this up, Carl. These are not gifts. No. They're not present.
And some people, some people that end up bringing them back to the or dumping them at the shelters, is they think the dog or the cat, especially dogs, they think the dog can train itself. And it's like, no, you have to be ready to train your dog properly.
Yes.
Because once you establish good habits right from the beginning and invest in training, then you will have the best relationship with your dog. Absolutely. And honestly, our relationship with Mylo is just so miraculous. He's such a good boy. I've never, ever said to Mylo, the bad boy. Never. No. We've established alpha right away from the get-go. And we had a great trainer who came to our home, and we had like 4 sessions with him. And I think Mylo's so good.
He's good. He thinks he's a human sometimes. I mean, he sleeps with us in the bed, and but
trained him right away though. Didn't potty trained really quickly. Didn't chew up. Only 1 pair of shoes he chewed up in his first 2 weeks with us. But after that, no more chewing, because we trained him right from the get-go.
Right. And that's a key factor, isn't it? That's a key factor that they need that training, just like we as humans need training. And without training, there's no discipline. And without discipline, you know, there's chaos. And when there's chaos, you're not a happy human. So, you know, if you translate that over into, you know, how they feel, it's the same thing. There's no difference, right?
And we have such, and the thing is, because, and this is what I will say for anyone who wants to get a dog, especially a puppy, you have to make sure you establish alpha right away. And there are exercises that you do. But because of that, Mylo never growls at us, never. And we have this loving relationship where Carl will take pictures of me in the morning where I'm like this, sleeping. And you'll have Mylo literally on my neck with a scarf, sleeping with me. It's just like we have our own little teddy bear. But to answer that question of how we came to Mylo,
so his name was going to be Gibson originally, because Gibson is a guitar brand, right?
Yes.
And I'm a fan of that. Yes. And I thought that could be a really good name for a dog, but he didn't look like a Gibson.
No, we were going to call him Gibby, but he just didn't look it.
Yeah. So, and then he became Mylo. I don't know.
We saw a rescue puppy that we were on the list for, that we were hoping to get, and his name was Mylo, and he looked like a Mylo.
Yeah.
And Carl and I said, "Wow, what a great name, Mylo."
Yeah.
He said, "Well, we should put that in the books then, if we don't go with Gibson." And then when we saw the picture of our Mylo, we said, "Oh, he looks like a Mylo," but we named ours Mylo with the Y. Yeah. So that's how we came up with Mylo. So
how adorable that is. So let's talk a little bit about, I mean, you've touched you know, a lot on how important, you know, training and balance is for, you know, Mylo. Let's talk a little bit about the fact, I mean, just off the top
training
of
and balance for Carl. Sorry,
I knew it. Anyway.
Right.
I don't think a trainer has been invented that is a call whisperer yet.
Well, it's a therapist, right? It's called therapy.
I do have a therapist, actually. I talk to
therapy is great, by the way, guys, especially with everything that we're going through. It's just healthy. There used to be this stigma where it's like, oh, you're going to therapy? Oh, no, I don't want to see a therapist. Guys, therapy is so great. There is no judgment. It's about having another perspective of someone to listen to you and hear you. I think it's actually very healthy. There doesn't have to be anything wrong. It's just good to have someone to talk to.
Who's outside of your head. Someone that's outside of your head and your feelings, right?
Yeah. Because I respect, you know, it's really important to give each other space. Look, we're not used to being with each other 24/7.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Like, how has it been for you guys?
Well, in the
first 3 days.
The first 3-4 days were not good because, you know, we had to tune into the right frequency. I thought
we're all heading for divorce.
Oh my God, what's going on? And
So my sister in London is saying my therapy is Prosecco.
Yes, Prosecco. I love her.
That's a good one.
Woman after my own heart.
It's good for a few hours. But,
but it doesn't last long, right? That's the problem.
Well, that's the thing. Yes. Yeah.
But so the first few days were difficult because now all of a sudden there's a shift that needs to happen within your lives.
We're trying to wrap our heads around this. Yeah. You know, all of us are trying to wrap around the gravity of what is happening. It just seems so surreal.
But then we started hearing that, you know, our friends, other married couples that we know, same thing there, like, oh, divorce, and, you know, and okay, cool. It's not just us. But I think then we started to find our sort of beat after that. And we're actually, touch wood, it's been good because we're now on day 21, 22 or something like that.
Yeah. So how have you made that shift happen, guys? Because, I mean, we're talking about two very, very polar opposite personalities that actually work really well in your regular environment of normalcy where you get to come in and out of the house. Now you've got these two, and so that dynamic works, right? Because you find the balance, and that's how we've been brought up to live, you know, in our nuclear environments. Now in our nuclear environment unit, I mean, we weren't really, you know, we weren't conditioned or brought up or even trained to understand or withstand so much time together, which we have to, you know, we have to deal with right now. How have you guys been making it work?
Okay, so routine has been one thing. Just getting out of bed, having a shave and a shower and get dressed in the morning helps a lot. Because, you know, that makes you feel good about yourself. And, you know, we both have jobs that we kind of have to invent our own opportunities. And we're kind of used to that mindset of always having to sort of be creative with the time that we have.
Right.
So I think, you know, and
that's a great point.
Yeah. And Karen is entrepreneurial, so she'll find things to do.
Yeah, it's been so busy. Like I've been doing Cameo. I joined Cameo
Yeah.
mainly because I felt helpless with everything that was happening, knowing how many people in every industry that have lost their jobs, and have mouths to feed. And I just sitting there in the news, I felt like one thing about my personality is that I have to be proactive and do something. So I joined Cameo, and I've been making donations, and I'm looking to do two donations this week to 2 new charities, but I donated already to the food bank. And it felt good. It felt like, okay, whatever little that we can do, you know, compared to what all those superheroes, our healthcare workers, delivery people at the grocery stores, cleaners, you name it, that are on the front lines. I just thought, well, let me be able to do something. And so I've been doing cameos.
You're getting a lot of love on our feed right now about the fact that you're involved with Cameo. There's a lot of love coming to you. I mean,
I'm so grateful because
fully been following you on this.
It's you know, my followers, my fans, I have the kindest fandom, and I'm so proud of them. And they've just been digging into their pockets and just been joining me on Cameo. And you know, it's been really lovely to connect with them and one-on-one, and just to let them know that they're not alone, that we're feeling the same way. There are people that we know in our circles that have either that have COVID-19 or have passed, and it's been really tough to digest. And I think it's so important that we come together as a global community, as brothers and sisters. We've seen the best of humanity and we've seen the worst, but I'm focusing on the best of humanity. We have faith in each other, and if I can shed some light or to make others smile through my cameos, and that's been great. And then I've been busy with, you know, again, there is no, and it's really important that everyone knows, there is no set rules what you do with this gift of time that we have now. Or, you know, it's a gift of time because all we've been asked to do is stay at home compared to what the others are having to do, you know, to keep us safe. If you feel the need to just relax, catch up on sleep, watch feel-good movies, do that. There is no judgment. You must do whatever it takes that is healthy and good and nourishing for your soul and your heart. My whole mindset is about keeping productive. So for me, it's either Marie Kondoing the house and reorganizing the pantry, or, you know, or you know, reorganizing closets, going through massive paperwork that I've been so lazy to put off, and it feels good to do that. Also, I've gone back to school, which I've always wanted to do.
So what are you doing?
So excited. So I'm taking some online courses with just to freshen up, because I've been writing, but I've always wanted to take some courses. Look, growth is something that's continuous in life.
Absolutely. And you've been a major advocate of that. Like throughout your career, you're constantly making sure that you're in touch with what you need to keep growing, right? And that's a big part of what you do.
I agree. Organizing online study, I see the comments on it, and there's a lot of free online classes as well. You know, I've been on the Sundance Film Festival. They have been offering up all their writing classes for free, and so I've been recurring on The Rookie. And oh, by the way, our episode on The Rookie is coming out on April 12th on Sunday.
Oh, brilliant! And what time? What, you know?
It's on ABC, and I think, oh gosh, I've got to get the time right. I think it's at 9 o'clock. I think I'm going to post, but it's ABC on Sundays, April 12th. So my I became kindred spirit friends with Alyssa Diaz, which is like the same people. We have so much in common. So and what I love about Alyssa is she's got this wonderful energy, infectious energy, and she's all about growth as well. So we've kind of been each other's, you know, study buddies. So yesterday we started our course at Sundance, and we had to do our first writing exercises. And then we were, you know, checking in with each other saying, what do you think about that video? Or what did you think about what such and such said? And I have to say, I wrote for 45 minutes and I was exhausted afterwards. I was like, oh my God, I haven't been in school in so long that this brain has just become, whoa, you know? So, but it was so wonderful. Yeah. It's like, just find things to keep yourself productive. My mom's store, the Queen's Trunk, like all the other stores just had to shut down. Yeah. So now this is an opportunity for mom, because a lot of our customers have always asked for Queen's Trunk to go online. So I've been busy as well with our web team to then, we're putting together an online store, and hopefully it'll be up in the next coming weeks. So that's something that we're also doing, which I'm really excited about, to support my mama. And, you know, it's just trying to keep yourself busy, and whatever that is, reading, or you name it.
There's always something to do. Always.
So you tell us, Carl, like, you know, while Karen is busy, you know, clearing closets and doing paperwork and, you know, reintroducing herself with her brain, what are you doing?
Okay. Yes. First of all, there's only so many movies and shows you can watch. I mean, my eyes were going square shaped after a few days. Initially I was like, yay, time, I can do this because it's okay and no guilt. But then, you know, after a while you get bored of that too. Of course. Sure, you can work. I can get on with my day-to-day work. I delivered a production last week, and that's cool. I can still do that from home. Yeah. But to keep sanity intact, and, you know, that can get quite monotone as well, because you can get too much of that as well. Yes. So I just find other things to do. I cook. I pickled some vegetables yesterday. Again,
yummy.
You know,
yummy.
Stuff like
so
that.
Yummy.
You know, and
we can't even have a cook-off, darling.
I know.
So for those people who you guys don't know this, it's just a bit of an inside joke that we've had for like many years. So Carl, of course, is a cooking aficionado, and I am a really proud Indian cook.
Oh my God.
So we have always had this thing where we're going to do a cook-off to see who makes the best curry. That hasn't happened yet, and now, and I think we need to maybe do a virtual cook-off. Carl.
That would be fun.
We should actually. We can do that. Yes.
He's more Indian than me now.
I love that.
My parents said that he just cooks like an Indian person.
Love that. Do that again.
He cooks.
Carl. I love it.
Looks like an Indian. So.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're very good.
Yeah, I've had a lot of practice over the years.
But you've also, but what I love about Carl is, you know, as soon as he's into something, that's it. He fully commits, and he'll go and watch all these Michelin star Indian chefs and find out their secrets.
Hindi, by the way.
In Hindi.
Oh my gosh.
I look at the pictures and what they're doing, and I was like, I think they mean, I know how words like healthy and stuff like that, but that's too, okay, cool. And but it's working.
My parents, they just adore him. And
I even make puchkas now.
You make puchkas? Yeah, he made really good puchkas.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so proud of him.
Sounds amazing. You just mentioned mom and dad. You just mentioned dad.
No, mom and dad.
How are they doing? How are they? I mean, I say this because I'm experiencing kind of some challenges with my own parents right now, guys. They are from that generation where it's like they're so stubborn.
Oh God, yeah.
They're so bloody stubborn that, you know, anything that is new, that is introduced in their life, that, you know, changes what they're accustomed to, is something that they find a way to logically make sense of why who they are and how they do things can still be done.
Yeah.
Now, I've been experiencing that with my parents. Talk to me a little bit about your parents, guys. Obviously I know, Karen, your parents very well. Your father is very independent, so is your mother, and they're spending a whole heck of a lot of time together. Talk to me.
Oh, the you know, post-retirement, when mom retired from working at the bank for 35 years or so, she and this is what I'm so proud about my mother, is that it doesn't matter how young or how old you are, if you have a dream, you have a passion for something, you go for it.
Right.
It's ageless. And so for my mom, a dream of hers was always to have her own little shop. She wanted to be an entrepreneur, and also the fact that she was never used to being with my dad 24/7. She was a working mom. I said, okay, so that's really why. So we opened up the Queen's Trunk in downtown Toronto at the Distillery District, and some of my fans have gone in and it's so wonderful. They've either, when they're visiting Toronto or if they're in Toronto, they'll go in and say hi to Mama, and it's so great. It's like a big family gathering. But so I'm really proud of her for doing that. So now she's taking this time to relax and everything. So I mean, both our parents understand obviously the gravity of what is happening, and it has to be taken seriously. But at the same time, you know, my dad, God bless him, is, you know, elderly, and he's like, oh, I'll go to the grocery store. I think it's because they don't want to be a burden or a nuisance to anyone. And I was like, you're not, like, this is what I need both my parents. I'm so grateful that our parents are alive and kicking well and strong, but I want to keep it that way for as long as possible. And I told my dad, I was like, you can't though, like, let's get delivery. And I know delivery is really challenging. Well, my sister, who's in Toronto too, has been really great with getting groceries. But, you know, my dad will just be like, it's fine. I'll just wear a mask, gloves and a hat, have my list ready, and I'll go in and out. And it's like, and normally that would be okay, but with everything that's happening,
well, it's difficult because you know, anyone can feel like they don't have a purpose after a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You know, even my dad, you don't know this, babe, but I was texting with him the other day, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to go for a tire change for the car tomorrow. I said,
oh my gosh,
I can wait.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, do you know how difficult it is to get those kind of appointments? And I said, you know what? If that was me going for a change, Karen would never allow that, you know, and I think that worked. Yeah. But, you know, he wanted
and that's what you said to him. So that made sense to him, right? Because he had to make sense of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only thing I could do is just and I say this with love, to threaten with love to my dad or my parents, is I said, okay, fine. If you're going to go out grocery shopping, even though it's senior hour and all that, I said, then I'm going to send you flowers. What? No, I don't want you spending your money. I'm going to buy you the most useless things. Like, you know, because my parents, they just don't want us to spend money. They want us to save our money.
Right.
And so the minute that I started
stuff.
The minute that I started saying, Dad, I'm going to buy you that, you know, fancy game board or something. He's like, no, like completely unnecessary. Then I'd be like, all right, well then you gotta stay home.
But you know,
or
one
get
thing,
Carl to talk to him.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I feel, I mean, we do feel like we're in a war zone right now, right, guys? I mean, you know, but this is not World War I and II. I mean, at the end of the day, let's keep things in perspective and let's not be so dramatic as a human race, right? I mean, we've got, even though we have social distancing happening, or perhaps too much time with, you know, the same people all the time, which, you know, as humans, we weren't really, you know, created to kind of withstand those types of scenarios. But you guys have given us so many different, you know, tips and tricks and realities for people to really kind of think about. I think the other thing that I wanted to, you know, address here is let's try and keep things in perspective, right? I mean, what are we being, like you said off the top, Karen, what are we actually being asked to do? We're being asked to stay home, keep ourselves safe, and keep the rest of our community safe. I mean, this is not, we're not being asked to go to war. We're not being asked to do anything, you know, horrifically drastic. And there's never been a time in, you know, human recorded history where we have been so connected during social distancing. Like there's never been a time when, you know, we still can, you know, communicate and see each other and hear each other's voice. You can almost kind of smell and touch each other, you know, with what, you know, mass communications and technology has allowed us to do. We are sitting here in the same room almost. I feel like I can feel your energy through, you know, through the screen, and you guys are thousands of miles away. This in and by itself is such a blessing and such great, you know, gratitude that we should be focusing our energy on things like 100%. That right now, right?
I think that's key for survival and coping mechanisms is when you have moments of feeling anxious, which is totally understandable.
100%.
It's so important to acknowledge what we feel, you know, acknowledge it, it's there. But, you know, gratitude, whenever you remember even an ounce of gratitude, it just triumphs and kicks fear out the window, like, because you remember that we do have electricity, we have clean water.
Right.
Thank goodness we have that.
Yes.
So that we're able to FaceTime or Skype or Zoom with our parents or our friends. At least we have that. And it's about trying to make the most of the situation, because I've always said to my followers too, is on my social media pages, that the one thing that we are in control of is how we choose to react to things. And whilst we have to take this very seriously and be informed, we also need to remain calm. I find meditation, tapping, all of that helps. It's been a profound change in my life. The minute that I started meditating, there is, besides it having scientific proof, it's so good for your frame of mind. And this is a time where we need to nurture and listen to our bodies, listen to our frame of mind, and make sure that we're looking after ourselves first. And like my dad says, you're bringing that self-love, you're loving yourself by taking this time to do. And there's no rules. Like, I even see a lot of our friends who have children who are homeschooling, and that's, you know, they have so much on their plate, but there's no judgment. If your kid wants to sit on your lap whilst doing long division, that's okay. You know.
But humanity aside, I mean, it feels like the planet is shaking the tree a little bit as well, and it's fighting back. And I think that's good, because you can see the fish in the Venice canals, you can see the blue skies in Hong Kong now, and you know, and that's a good thing. So that's going to have a positive effect on humanity as well. So it's all connected in a good way.
Absolutely. So how I mean, you know, how do you guys feel that you're going to be changed, if at all, but when we actually come out of this lockdown and we've been able to kind of manage the COVID-19 situation? Like, how, you know, if you kind of look back on pre-COVID, COVID now, and then, you know, looking into the future of your life, how do you feel that this time, which for me has been a blessing for so many reasons, a lot of the things that you guys have been talking about, and valuing basic human life again, which is something that we haven't been doing. And we know this because Mother Nature has been screaming at us. How do you guys feel that you're going to make changes, or have been changed, moving forward, once we're out of this situation?
Empathy, I think, for me. It's I don't know, I tend to see people, and I see people now, and you know, I'm talking about people that, you know, may have, you know, might live paycheck to paycheck like most people do, and stuff like that. You know, you can have more empathy with everybody. I think everyone's come together in a beautiful way through something, because we're all going through this in the same way, and I don't know, it's just brought everyone together, I think. So empathy for me.
It's the first time in our knowledge as humans, you know, at this point in time, where we are all having the same experience around the world.
It is.
Right?
This is an opportunity for each and every one of us to be our best versions of ourselves, you know, and deciding how you're going to choose to react to this and what you decide to do. And for me, it's been so important that I know that all of us are going to look back on this time years from now. This is history. This is now becoming a part of history. We're going to look back at this time. And I want to be able to look back on this time and say, I did something for myself, for my family, for my fans, for my friends.
Right.
You know, and it could be big or small, whatever. But knowing that I did something, and I did something with that gift of time. Because here's the thing, for the first time ever, none of us are going to suffer from FOMO. None of us. None of us. Absolutely. I have never slept so heavy now at night, because I don't have anything to worry about the next day. Like, there's no work.
But you also, it's also taught us to care about other people. Like, we see things on Facebook, neighbors, and they go, hey, I've got too many avocados, come and help yourself, or, you know, and then you might, okay, I'll come and grab a few. Do you need something from us? Do you need this? And they go, yeah, actually. And then there's a trade there.
Yes.
fun bartering. It's giving each other, you know, like, okay.
Your friend Lisa, they had a surplus of oranges. From their garden, and I have an ice cream machine, of course. So I go, hey, bring them over, I'll make some ice cream for you. So they brought them, and I make something and give it back. So kindness is another thing that, you know, empathy and kindness to other people. You're not as selfish anymore.
Camaraderie, community, coming together. Like I said, this is an opportunity to bring out the best in each other. This is the chance for humanity to really shine. And every day we see examples of that courage, you know, heroism and kindness.
Yes,
this is Mother Nature, universe hitting that reset button and telling us, guys, wake up. You know, climate change is real. We need to look after Mother Earth, because you know what, guys, we are the guests of Mother Earth. Mother Earth is the master, and we are the guests.
Right.
So we forgot that along the way.
Yeah.
And it is so important now that we are being brought to our humble knees. And as painful as it is, because there is a price with that, with the loss of so many lives
and jobs
and the economy and everything we're seeing. But this truly is our chance together as a global family to come together and to help one another. More kindness, more empathy, more compassion. If we don't come away with those 3 things after this, I don't know, then we're doomed. But I have faith. I have faith.
So do
and
I.
when there's faith, there's hope. And when there's hope, hope will always triumph over fear.
Absolutely.
So it's really important to, I find that we're more patient with each other.
It's been a lesson.
He's been actually, you know what, for one day, can I just say, he tried this just to see, right? He would say, oh, yes, of course, my darling love, sweetheart. And I'd be like,
it works.
Oh. And I'd be like, oh, okay.
It works.
Thank you, my darling. Oh, thank you, love.
Yeah,
oh, thank you, sweetheart.
I know.
Oh.
Well,
and that was nice.
I know what happens if you do the opposite thing. That works too, but in a bad way. So, yeah.
But you're not really.
No. But, you know, kindness and respect is something that, you know, it's been a good lesson.
And look, it's friendship, relationships, partnerships, marriage.
Right.
You know, it's not easy. It's something that you have to constantly navigate through every day. You know, and one thing about Carl, like, if you can find the humor in situations,
I'll get fed up with myself sometimes.
But if you can find the humor in situations with coping, it helps, you know.
Absolutely.
We also have this teddy bear here, so that
which is that helpful.
Yes. Oh, did you just kiss me?
You know, guys, we're coming to the end of our hour together. Can you believe it's been an hour already? It's just unbelievable. But I just want to thank the Facebook family as well as the Instagram family for hanging out with, you know, Karen, Carl, and Mylo and myself. Also for hanging out with me for the whole week. We started this series off where I was speaking to you guys about 3 fundamental communications perspectives that I wanted you guys to look at. We have now tapped into multiple different ways of doing that. And I really hope that, you know, those of you who haven't had the opportunity to listen to all of my other guests, please do go to, you know, the Ryden business page. Go to my YouTube next week when they'll all be up there as well. You know, check out what, you know, these wonderful people are saying, the insights on what we need to look at, which fundamentally really does come down to the fact that we have to make sure that we make a choice that's right for ourselves, that we make a choice that's right for the people that we love. And if those 2 simple things were what we did, this entire world would be a better place. Any final words, guys?
Love each other, right? Mwah. Oh, I'll put lipstick on you. There you go.
Perfect.
Oh, you did as well. Look.
Be kind to each other. Be patient with one another. You know. But
you're welcome.
You know, this too will pass, and I know we're going to come out of this so much stronger than ever. And I know that together we are healing, and just know that you're not alone, because we really are all in this together. It's a small world.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, my darlings. I love you both so much. And I
Do
thank
you
you
want to say anything?
for sharing time with me. Carl, final words?
No, Karen said everything. You know, she words everything so well. You know, so
No, you speak well.
no, no, we'll leave it there for now. But thank you, thanks for having us. Thank you.
Of course, my darlings. I love you both so much. Thank you so much. For
This
your
is
time and
so
your
much
insights.
fun.
Right?
This is so much fun. Yeah. And we got to do Vegas trip again. You
Oh
should
my
come
God,
this time.
totally. And this time you have to come, Carl, because it's hilarious how your wife behaves herself in Vegas.
That's why I will not be joining you. Yeah.
Raj, come on now. I'm a very, naughty but nice, right? Nice but naughty.
Yeah.
Or cheeky. Cheeky's
Actually,
the word.
that's the right word to describe you. But thank you so much again, guys. And I love you so much. I keep saying it because it's true. Have a great weekend coming up for a great weekend.
And thank you to all of your followers that have been tuning in. And thank you guys for tuning in. It's so great to see you here. Love you loads.